And good afternoon, everybody. Sterling High School TV 19 is proud to present high school softball, Sterling and Audubon. In the division, Audubon leads it. They are 8-0. They are 4-0 in the division. Sterling in second place. They are 6-2, and they are 3-1 in the division. We'll look at things first for Audubon. Their batting order today. Leading off batting first, Dana Medlar in center field. Gianna Canuso in left, Marv Lockheed, the shortstop, Olivia Melanowski, the catcher, Catherine Brook, the pitcher, Megan Godsmack, the third baseman, Alex Holton, the second baseman, Elena Severzarin, I believe is the way you say it. We'll get on that as we get going. And the pitcher today is Kylie Alkins. You see the pitcher for Sterling, that's Mallory Skelly. She's 2-1 with a 3.03 ERA. She's pitched 30 innings, given up 30 hits, 13 earned runs, 6 walks, 29 strikeouts. Defense behind him, Bree Blanchard, the catcher. Kaylee Sims at third, Raina Pelkak at short, Caroline Krause at second, Mallory Skelly at first, Angie Please in left, Caitlin Ott in center, and Steph Kelly in right. Today I'm joined with Kevin Scholes. Kevin, battle for first place today.
Yeah, I know Coach Johnson was really happy about how her team played in the spring and felt like to this point of the year this would be a position her team would be in for playing for first place, and they've played well. I think they've had their ups and downs, but as long as for the most part you're solid defensively, you're going to be in the mix. There's no question about it.
Something that's going to be interesting. Audubon averages 13 points a game to Sterling 7. They both have given up 3 points a game. Here's Diane Medlar, the center fielder. She's hitting .655, 2 doubles, 2 triples, a homer. And we're just about set for the first pitch of the game. Off-speed pitch in there for a strike. Of course, the last time we've seen Mallory here, a couple years, she is a senior, outstanding pitcher. Her sister at first. Yeah. Yeah, we're in the Mallory Skelly area of hitting here for sure. 1-1 to count.
Well, this definitely from the center field vantage point gives us a perspective of inside outside as opposed to along the third baseline where we really don't get that perspective.
Yeah, you really get a good look from here. 1-1 pitch. That's in there for a called strike. It's 1-2 to Medlar. Medlar, Canuso, and Lockheed here in the top of the first.
And you had to like, you as a pitching coach had to like that location, low and away, keep it down. That's going to get you a lot of ground balls if there is contact.
Speaking of ground ball, there's one foul down the third base side. Just underway, first batter of the game. Glad you're with us here on Channel 19. Reach over for the shortstop. This is Pelkak. Pelkak with the throw in time for the out.
Got it up a little bit, but it was on the outside part of the plate, probably a little bit off the plate. But you saw the hitter reaching out and just able to only get a slow ground ball, and the infielders will take that any time. That's what Mallory Skelly will do for you.
Gianna Canuso now hitting .318, a double. She has knocked in 3 and scored 10. One out here, top of the first. Right down the middle, strike one.
I think the last game that I had done here was with Audubon, and boy, that was 2 years ago. They had a team that really hit the ball well.
The stats here are pretty good, and there's one right at the shortstop, Pelkak. So Pelkak able to make the play there for the second out of the inning.
But again, no solid contact, just a tap and a nice, easy, like a soft line drive, I guess you could say, to shortstop.
Here's Marv Lockheed, the shortstop. She's hitting .500, 3 doubles. Does have a home run, 7 runs knocked in. She's scored 13. 1-0 outside.
Trying to get a feel what she can get on that. So it's like one of those, I guess you could say, experimental pitch. She's got 2 outs. Let's see how much he's going to give me off of the plate. Again, yeah, not a ton.
Excuse me. The weather here is a bit cloudy. The wind is blowing in strong from where we're sitting in center field towards home plate.
I know I keep complaining about it. Nothing beats the wind.
Yeah, it's
from 2 weeks ago, lacrosse.
Knocked the table right over.
Yeah. Sheree will tell us all about that, right? Yeah.
She's our cameraman up in the crane right
Brandon.
now. Here's a chopper down to third. This is Sims in time to get the third out. So a nice play by Sims at third base, and Audubon goes down 1-2-3 here in the first inning.
Yeah, we'll look at that, and you see her get it over there to first. And Molly Skelly did a great job with the scoop at first, dug it right out of the dirt. So good job by Sterling defensively in that first inning.
Pitcher today for Audubon is Katie Brook. Behind her, catcher Olivia Malinowski, third baseman Megan Gottschalk, the shortstop Mav Lockheed, second baseman Alexandria Holton, first base Kylie Alkins, left fielder Gianna Canuso, center fielder Diana Medlar, and the right fielder Megan Kennelly. For Sterling batting today, it's going to be Raina Pelkak at shortstop, Steph Kelly in right, Mallory Skelly the pitcher, Molly Skelly the first baseman, Bree Blanchard the catcher, Maggie Ralston the designated player, Caitlin Otten center field, Caroline Krause second baseman, and Kaylee Sims third base. And Kevin, I talked about some of the numbers coming in. This Audubon team averaging 13 runs a game.
Wow.
And some of their batting average astronomicals in the 500, 600. So if you get a 1-2-3 first inning, you're off to a good start.
Well, you know, again, you know as well as anybody, that first inning was about her keeping hitters off balance, location, because obviously with those stats, if you miss and get too much of the plate, they're going to make you pay for it.
So getting set for Katie Brook to face Sterling. It'll be Pelkak a junior, Kelly a senior, and Mallory Skelly a senior. Coming into this game, as we mentioned, Audubon 8-0, Sterling 6-2. Audubon undefeated in the division. Sterling has lost one in the division to Haddon Heights. And leading it off, Raina Pelkak, the shortstop. She's hitting .552, has a double, 2 runs knocked in. She has scored 6, an on-base percentage of .667. We've seen a lot of her in various sports, Kevin.
Yeah, good basketball player, has played really since her freshman year.
So Brooke ready, and we are ready. 1-0.
Not getting a lot off that plate. That's that might have been up a little bit too, but you can see both pitchers are just trying to again get a feel for what they can get off the plate and how close it's got to be. So not a pitcher's umpire.
It's 2-0 outside. Again, keep in mind, you do hear the wind at home. The wind is blowing strong from dead center field where we're positioned straight into home plate. The outfield is actually, for softball, is very tight right now. This is an opposite field hit, falling down and foul out of play down the right field line. Get a shot of Sterling Storage there. It's the back of Sterling Storage, or right behind that property here on Sterling High School's campus.
If you've came up to this game through that new parking lot, you just see how things have changed over the last few years on this side of our athletic fields and the side of the building, and all for the best, because that's great having that side parking lot there.
Pitch, fly ball infield, first baseman there, and able to make the play is Alkins. There's one up.
She dropped
it after a while. And that gives you an idea, Kevin, of the wind.
Yeah.
That really pushed that ball back to the fence.
And for us here, our perspective of balls going down the right field line, we can't tell if it's a foot foul or 50 feet foul.
No way of knowing. We just got to react to whatever's going on out there. Pelkak back in with 2 strikes. Up the middle, the pitcher, Brooke, will take it, and that is the first out of the inning.
Well, neither team has had solid contact so far, just some soft ground balls. We had a soft line drive, so both pitchers are doing what they need to do to keep the hitters off bounce against a couple of pretty good lineups.
Senior right fielder Steph Kelly hitting .407. No extra base hits. She's knocked in 2. Shows bunt, takes it for a strike. As the jet stream continues to kick in from behind us to home plate.
Of course, it's always 10 times windier out here
in the
field than when you walk out your front door.
Yep. No houses or trees to block it, especially when the wind's coming from behind us. 1-1. I want to thank Andrew Kane for producing this game with the replays and the graphics. Sheree Coffey up on the catbird seat doing the camera. Round the bunt again. Takes that for a strike. She thought it was low, but the ump says no. Called strike 3.
Just got the outside corner.
Might get one more look at this, Kevin. This will give you a great angle here. See if they're giving that aspect of the outside.
Yeah, that was maybe an inch or two off, but a great pitch. Boy, it looks like it was kind of fading away. Not a good hitter's pitch.
Mallory Skelly, a base hit into right field. Goes to the right fielder, throws to first. Skelly beats it out. So Skelly gets our first hit of the game. She came in hitting .640. There it is again.
Sometimes you can almost be penalized for hitting the ball too hard. And, yeah, that really got out there in a hurry. And especially, it's right at the right fielder. They're able to charge up. But good job by Mallory Scully. Hustling that one out and getting herself to first base.
Alyssa Brown is in to run for Skelly. Now her sister Molly is sophomore bats. She's hitting .577, leads the team in doubles with 5, leads the team in triples with 2. She has 7 runs knocked in. She scored 1. So again, the pitch runner Brown at first. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning with no score. Battle for first place. Audubon 8-0, Sterling 6-2. 1 game separates them though in the division. Big swing, playable in center field. Medlar there as the wind holds it up, and that is going to do it for the 3rd out of the inning. So we have played 1 inning here at Sterling. We have no score. We'll be back with more in a moment. Tat Kazaneski, Kevin Schulz back with you here, Sterling High School Channel 19. We move to the 2nd inning in our wind tunnel event. It'll be Malinowski, Brook, and Gottschalk here in the 2nd. Olivia, the catcher, hitting .666, has a double and a home run. Inside 1-0.
Missed the spot a little bit right there with the catcher setting up outside, but that happens on occasion. Just don't miss middle.
Could be a problem. And misses low, 2-0. And you can really get a good shot here. They really leave the middle of the field wide open. The shortstop over towards 3rd, the second baseman over towards 1st. You could live with the ball right up the middle.
Yeah.
That's 3-0 as that's outside.
And it's short. They're in a lot too. So, but geez, the first inning it worked because there was just some soft line drives, not hard contact.
That's in there for a strike, so it's 3-1 to Malinowski. Malinowski, a senior. Off-speed pitch, popped up right side, short right field. Right fielder has a long way, and a nice catch on the play by Steph Kelly.
And they're tough ones, especially, Tad, you had mentioned with the wind. coming in when the ball's just shifting all around, but a nice job by Steph Kelly getting to it and hauling it in.
And that was coming back all the way. Catherine Brook, the pitcher, hitting .500 in the year. She has 7 doubles as she takes that inside. 7 doubles and a homer. She is first on the team in doubles. She has knocked in 12 and scored 7. On the corner for a called strike. That's a spot. If you can hit that all day.
Yeah, and that's what I think early on she was experimenting with shoots she could get. Now she's got an idea. Looks like a changeup.
Yeah, on the offside corner there. Very well done by Mallory Skelly.
It's hard to believe Mallory Skelly is a senior right now.
Time has flown by,
man.
Kevin. Way outside, and that, of course, helped lead them to the South Jersey Championship, a game you saw here on Channel 19 a few years ago.
Real good. She did very well, but she also had a very good team defensively behind her.
Down through to right field for a base hit. So it's a 1-out single for Brook.
Interesting. It'll be interesting to see with the lower part of the lineup coming up, and obviously they have a good lineup, but if they try to get aggressive and steal to get Brook moved over to scoring position.
Here's Megan Gottschalk, the third baseman, hitting .385, has 4 doubles on the year and a home run. Takes that first strike. Runner at first, 1 out here in the second inning. Ground ball, might get a play at second. They go to first, low throw, it's thrown away. Right fielder backs it up, gets it in. Everyone's going to move up a base on the error.
Boy, that's a good job by Steph Kelly getting there, backing things up, because if she's not coming in full speed to back up, that's a run across.
So 2 runners in scoring position now for Alex Holton. Holton hitting .458 on the year. She takes a strike. She has a double, has knocked in 9 and scored 7. Audubon threatening here in the second inning. 1-1. A lot of times, Kevin, it's little plays like that are the difference in a well-pitched game.
So many softball games come down to something like that, or a base running error.
Second baseman's going to take this. Big out for Skelly there as no one can advance. 2 outs. I wish you may have to help me try and say this name. This is a tough, tough name. I'm going to look for it here in a second.
Serzanin?
All right. Elena Serzanin to the plate. This is her first varsity at bat. So tough spot for her.
You went to me because I've never butchered a name in my entire career on air.
Never.
That is a total lie.
That's a tough one. Serzanin in. 2 runners in scoring position. 2-0.
Boy, what a confidence boost this would be to get out of this inning unscathed.
Yeah, you're facing a second and third. A little bit low. First base is still open.
And a couple points, you've overcome. If you do get by, you've overcome the error, and you've gotten through the lineup one time, and a very powerful lineup at that.
Ground ball past the pitcher, tough play. Pelkat comes up and makes the play for the 3rd out of the inning. So Audubon manages to get 2 on, but not able to score them. We move to the home half of the second inning. We have no score.
Imagine.
Home half of the second inning. Tad Kazanewski, Kevin Schulz with you here. Pretty impressive game thus far.
It really is, and you can see Sterling is back after. I know they had the year where we talked about them winning Group 2, had a few down years where they had trouble with teams the likes of Audubon and West Deptford, but really doing what they have to do here. And again, impressive and not surprisingly of what Mallory Skelly's been able to do on the mound with keeping hitters off bounds.
It'll be Blanchard, Ralston, and Ott here for Sterling in the second. Bree Blanchard, the catcher, hitting .250 on the year. She does have a triple. Fouls one out of play, back into the screen. Blanchard has knocked in 2 and scored 3. On base percentage of .357. See on your screen, bottom of the second inning, no score. Leadoff batter here is Blanchard. That's high, 1-1.
Yeah, softball's about doing all the little things right, especially when you have two very good teams, two very good pitchers.
That's outside, 2-1.
I'm wondering if that same situation comes up again with Skelly in the mound with runners at second and third later in the game with no runs scored, if you might see a suicide squeeze at that point.
Might be a good idea. Fouled back at the screen. 2 strikes to Blanchard.
Probably a little early in the game for that now, but down the road, if she continues to hold them down, something we might look out for.
It's an Audubon team, as we mentioned, averaging 13 runs a game. That's 2 an inning.
Yeah.
Up the middle, off the pitcher's glove, and off second base and into center field for a base hit. So Blanchard's on first with a leadoff single.
Now it just kind of found its way through. You see the ball right here, just hit it where it was pitched and went under the pitcher's glove. And was put in the right spot, that's for sure. So.
Well, you talked about a bunt earlier. Here's a designated player, Maggie Ralston. This might be a bunt here. She's hitting .250 on the year. She's going to swing.
Well,
takes on the corner for a called strike.
I agree with you. I thought we would go with just to move the runner over.
She's the 6th hitter in the lineup because every run could be huge. Right now it's 0-0. Brooke Reddy, 1-strike pitch. Outside, 1-1. Third baseman in. Gottschalk is in about even with the bag at third. Inside. Ralston takes a long look at Coach Johnson at third. Two and one to Ralston. Ball 3 as it bounces in there.
With 3-1, it's got to be a real good pitch, especially with the way we're starting to see pitchers struggle a little bit with the last 2 pitches.
Runner at first, 3-1. On the outside corner, it's now full.
But a good job by Ralston laying off that one. And 3-1 count. You don't want to get something good.
3-2 with Blanchard at first. Sauter off. They might only have one play at first. They do. Nice arm by the shortstop Lockheed. But with that, it moves the runner Blanchard up to second with 1 out.
Yeah, that's as good as a bunt. And nice job by Blanchard charging that one, which she had to. But in coming up like that, you have no shot at getting the force out at second. So Ralston does her job, moves up the runner.
Here's Caitlin Ott, the center fielder, hitting .348, 1 double, 4 runs knocked in. She scored 5. Blanchard in scoring position. First pitch is in there for a called strike. Right now the wind, even though it was blowing hard earlier, has died down just a bit. Missing away. Ott bats in the 7th position for Sterling. That misses inside. So Brooke trying to find her way through the plate right now.
Yeah, this is a point where if you're starting, especially down in the lower part of the lineup, you want to be really selective here.
Now we're fighting the planes too, flying overhead. It's on the corner for a called strike. Caitlin Ott, seeing if she'd get a hit to put Sterling on the board first with Blanchard at second. Big swing and a miss and a strikeout for Brooke.
Yeah, good pitch by Brooke. Looked like it, well, it was low and away, had some movement on it. And did a good job not finding the middle part of the plate, giving Brooke something, or Ott something she could hit.
Here's Caroline Kraus, the second baseman, with 2 outs. Kraus to the pitcher, and Brooke makes the play for the 3rd out of the inning. So we played 2 full innings here from Sterling. We have no score between Sterling and Audubon.
By littering.
It couldn't be me.
Littering has many consequences that you might not even be aware of. It kills over 100,000 mammals each year. It degrades into our environment. It can cause us to live over a big pile of trash. It contaminates our water. It can even cause someone to trip and fall. It is also illegal.
Whoa. Pick that up. Pick it up.
So please, take the extra time to help keep our planet clean by not littering. Throw your trash in a trash can.
And we welcome you guys back to the top of the 3rd inning. No score between Audubon and Sterling. Tad Kosneski and Kevin Schulz with you here on Sterling High School TV 19. The 2 top teams in the Liberty Division today.
Yeah, a pitcher's duel, just as you would expect. Both teams got some runners on, but Sterling and Audubon did the job making the plays when they had to make them to keep this game scoreless.
The last inning, Audubon left 2 on base. You're going to be 9-1-2. Alkins, Medlar, and Canuso for Audubon. Katie Alkins is sophomore, hitting .222, has a double on the year. One now. Inside, pitcher Mallory Skelly, number 55. Normally I'd say the speed limit, but that has changed in many areas. No longer 55 in certain states and certain areas. Don't know what the significance of 55 is, but that is a strike. 2-1. Third baseman coming in, takes a crazy hop, and that's going to be an infield single.
And that's a tough play for Sims coming in. It looked like it might have had a spin to it.
Yeah, it spun by her. So we'll see now with the leadoff hitter Medlar in. She's 0 for 1, coming in hitting .655. Again, if it's me, I'm looking for a bunt here. Let's see what happens. She's takes it outside.
It's a tough call because, see, I guess with a team that's used to scoring a lot of runs early on in a game, you're playing for a big inning, but you got a good pitcher, and I think I might want to move her over.
That's in there for a strike. That was right down the middle.
And the more runners you get in scoring position, obviously you're giving yourself more chances eventually. You feel like you have to break through.
Right down the middle again, taken for a strike. As we mentioned, Medlar hitting .655, 2 doubles, 2 triples, a homer. She's knocked in 9 and scored 19. 2 strikes to her. Chopped into left field for a base hit. Good 2-strike hitting for Medlar. 2 runners on, nobody out.
And had to reach out to get that. I don't know that that was a bad pitch by Skelly, but just a good job by Medlar. And that's what you expect from somebody who's been hitting the way she is, coming into the game with a .650 average.
So 2 runners on, nobody out. Gianna Canuso lined to short her first time up. See the runner on second now. She takes that one for a strike. It looked like she thought about bunting and just took it.
Well, at this point, you know, the bunt getting you runners on second and third, and there's no guarantee they're going to even get you out with the bunt. Yeah, they're going to do that. That's a good move.
That is a foul, so it's 0-2 to Canuso. If you can just get the bunt down, a lot of things can happen. 2 strikes. She's the second hitter in the lineup. Outside as Skelly tried to throw that one by her. 2 runners on, nobody out, top of the third. Chopped, foul off the screen, tried to go inside on that.
Well, you're not kidding when you say the middle is wide open. Wow.
I've never seen it this wide open. I mean, the shortstop was way over towards third. Second baseman's way over towards first. Popped up, infield, first baseman going to take it. That's Molly Skelly, takes it for the first out.
Well, that's exactly what you wanted from Mallory Skelly there. Get a pop-up, get the out without allowing the runners to even have a chance to advance.
Getting back to the middle of field open, I think a lot of it has to do with responsibilities of covering first and third for the shortstop and second baseman. That's my best guess. We'll have to find out later. Here's Lockheed to the plate. Hits one hard at the shortstop, who's going to come over and tag third. What a job there by Raina Pelkat.
Yeah, Pelkat just did it herself. Hard ground ball. Got there in a hurry. Got it. Did what she had to do. And was in the right spot. So maybe that's why she's playing over.
That was awesome. Yeah, you're right. If she wasn't there, that's a hit.
But I know what you're saying, because how many times have you seen it where this is
right field, looked like Kelly might have a play. She does squeeze it in play for the third out of the inning. So Audubon gets 2 runners on to start and then 3 outs to follow. We're going to move to the home half of the third inning. Still 0-0.
But like to what we were talking about having
Kevin, you wanted to elaborate a little more about that, the defense with the second baseman and shortstop.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about being wide open, but a lot of it has to do with you have runners on first and second. If the hitter just squares around the bunt, forcing the third baseman in, if the runner on second, if the shortstop's not over far enough, the runner on second can just beat the shortstop to third base for her covering, and then you pull back on the bunt. You don't have to sacrifice at that point, so you're almost getting a sacrifice without an out. So I guess, yeah, that's why you're seeing them
Well, so
leaving
far,
that middle wide open. And it worked out good from there because the ball was hit right to Pelcat where she was.
Audubon's got to be a little frustrated. Sterling got to feel pretty good because Audubon had 2 runners on with 1 out, then had 2 runners on with nobody out in the second and third innings and not able to do anything with it. As we zoom it in, here comes Kaylee Sims, the third baseman, the 9th hitter, hitting .526, 2 doubles, a homer, 9 runs knocked in. No score here between Audubon and Sterling, 2 teams battling for first place in the Liberty. I'm just amazed with the runs per game. They have scored 103 runs, Audubon has, in 8 games. That comes out to 13 runs a game.
Wow.
Sterling, will give you their comparison, has only scored 53. That's half.
Now, they play teams in our division, right? I mean,
Yeah, you'll always start the way they'll do in the Colonials. You'll play everyone in your division first. Then you'll play either the other half of the division and or your out-of-conference games. And that's kind of, this is a makeup game for earlier in the year where the baseball team played and the softball team was canceled. So for the most part, they were divisional games.
And I'm looking, I mean, obviously Lindenwold is a team that's usually down 17 runs there, but, I mean, 14 against Haddon Township. Gateway usually has a decent,
Yep.
decent in softball.
Yeah.
17 runs against them, 10 against Timber Creek, and 7 against a pretty good Haddon Heights team that has a very good, I know has a very good pitcher.
Big swing and a miss there by Sims. So yeah, you're doing something today if you're Skelly. And Audubon has had base runners, but you've been able to keep them from scoring. Sims back in against Brooke. Nice pitch on the outside corner.
Looked like, was that, she take something off that?
I believe it
Changeup?
was, Kevin.
Wow, she had Sims way out in front. You look at this, yeah. And it tailed away.
Great pitch. Here's Raina Pelkak. She's 0 for 1 with the ground out, coming in hitting .552 in the year, batting in the leadoff position. Swing and a miss, same type pitch.
Yeah, they're having a tough time. That's a pitch you definitely want to try to lay off. Easier said than done, though, with the way it tails away.
Katie Brooke having a good afternoon on the mound. Off-speed pitch over to the second baseman, Holton, and there are 2 down. Kind of jammed her on that one.
Both pitchers are doing the job, and for the most part, in the field, yeah, just got on the inner part of the bat. They're doing the job, especially when they have to. With runners on base, they're making plays.
With 2 outs, here's Steph Kelly. She struck out looking back in the first inning. She tries the bunt, and they say foul as it starts to drizzle a little bit here.
Yeah, and I think you see Kelly with the bunt attempt. I think we're going to see, kind of what we were saying earlier, that a little bit more from both teams, for that matter, as we move forward in this game.
2 outs with nobody on. She tries bunting again. That is fair, and that is an out. So we have played 3 innings here from Sterling High School. Pretty good game. No score thus far between Audubon and Sterling. Our first chance to take a look at the softball team at Sterling High School. We've got a great game. If you're just coming in, 0-0. Audubon, the last 2 innings, have had 2 runners on and not been able to do it in each inning. As we welcome Dan Farr from our TV department, also one of the assistant coaches of the baseball team. Welcome, Mr. Farr.
What's happening, people?
Tell you picked a good day to come. This is a really good game thus far.
Except for the weather.
It's a little chilly. Here is Caitlin Brook. She singled back in the 2nd inning. That's low. Get a pretty good view of what's going on, though, from out here. You get a good perspective. I think the umpire's done a pretty good job as well.
He has. He's been, we talk about sometimes maybe getting a little off the plate, but he's been consistent. That's all you ever ask for.
Catcher on the pop-up, and squeezing it is Blanchard for the first out.
And that's one when you get a pop-up right at the plate, you'll want to turn around towards the backstop, but in her defense, she didn't have time to even do that. And that's a nice job doing that, Justin, doing what you have to do in that play.
Here's Megan Godshaw. Godshaw reached base on an error. She comes in hitting .385. As Farr mentioned, it is a blustery day. The wind blowing in hard from dead center field.
Rain just starting very lightly.
Just a little bit of a drizzle on a 2% chance of rain afternoon. We got that 2% in.
That's right.
Down to short. Nice play. Pelkak, she has been tremendous today. Another nice play.
And just getting rid of it quick.
Yeah, not much windup to Raina's throw to first.
No.
Like a shot put kind of thing.
She didn't even set her feet.
Yeah.
So 2 outs. Here's Holton to the plate. She popped out the 2nd, back in the 2nd, coming in hitting .458. She thought about bunting. Now we are, Kevin, seeing more teams think about bunting with the way the pitchers are going.
Yeah, they're realizing the chances of having that big inning aren't as great as they were early on. With the rhythm you're seeing both these pitchers in right now.
Working the outside corner on this pitch. In there for a called strike. The other thing you're going to notice when the camera goes wider, Mr. Farr, we are amazed how much room there is up the middle of the field here. The shortstop way over to third, the second baseman way over to first. That's high.
Probably now you're seeing this. Well, you could definitely see the shortstop where she is now, as opposed when there was a runner on second, is definitely shaded more this way, because you don't have to worry about the attempted bunt and not having anybody to cover third if somebody's on second, and then just going. But there's still room to what you're saying.
There is a lot of room up the middle.
Something to ask Coach later. Is it maybe that Mallory is a good fielder on the mound? She covers a lot of the space in the middle. I don't know.
It's a good question. It just seems, again, we're a baseball guy sitting here, so we'll probably ask her later, but it just, if this was baseball, this is a way over play. But it's working. We had a play we were talking about last inning where the shortstop Pelkak made the play and actually went over and tugged third base on our own. So it worked.
Well, I think the shortstop is where you would think they'd be seconds over a little bit more.
Yeah.
Than what you would think.
Opposite field, the wind's going to blow this foul and out of play.
Something else I'm not used to seeing here either is white catcher's gear.
Yeah, you're right. You don't see a lot of that.
It's interesting, though, because to me it might even give, if you just concentrate on the chest protector, it really gives you a good strike zone to.
Yeah, the whole glove blends right in. This is a dribbler to second. This is going to be a tough play, and it's going to be an infield single as Kraus couldn't get to it.
Yeah, that is a tough play, especially you're coming in. You have to pick it up and then kind of throw back against your body, and it didn't have much on it either.
So yet another base runner on. This time, though, just 2 outs. The 8th hitter. Here we go with this name again, Kevin.
Serzanin.
Serzanin takes a strike. That's just one of those names I can't spit out. Serzanin ground out in the 2nd inning. She's 0 for 1. Nice pitch there for a called strike.
Not much left out over the middle of the plate, and you can't with the stats we've seen from this lineup.
Going outside, way off the plate this time. Foul out of play down the right field line. That's about all you can do with that one.
What do you think? Come up and in now, just to keep her off bounds.
You better keep it off the plate, though. Yeah, I
Well,
think
that's what I mean. Don't not either in.
You make sure it's off the plate.
Don't get middle.
You'll get a good look at it at home here. They're going off the plate again. Something off speed, and they call it a strike 3. So that is the 3rd out of the inning on the strikeout. We move to the home half of the 4th. Still no score here from Sterling. Some of our students putting together the commercials, the public service announcements you see here on Channel 19. Glad you're with us. The division title, Liberty on the line early on here as we get ready for the 4th. It's going to be the Skelly sisters and Bree Blanchard with no score in the 4th. Against Katie Brook, who's doing a great job pitching. Now, this is the one you got to be careful with. Mallory Skelly, 640 average, 3 doubles, 2 homers, 19 runs knocked in, has scored 10. If she hits one out in this win today, that's accomplishing something.
Not kidding.
Just a little outside on that one. Yeah, I think if you're Brooke, you pitch her very, very carefully. A 640 batting average.
Yeah, especially with all the, leading off the inning.
A charge in this one down the right field line. It's going to be blown foul. I mean, that might be your only hope, is if you can hit a screaming line drive. But anything towards center or left, the wind is just going to knock down.
Both Mallory and Molly, very similar in that they'll hit the ball where it's pitched.
And that's hard to teach.
Everybody wants, a lot of people want to. Oh, there's a perfect example there.
This is going to the wall. She's heading into second. So Mallory Skelly leads off the 4th with a double. That is her 4th double of the season.
And that's what you want to do. Hit it low, line drive, especially with this wind. Anything you said, even if you hit it, get a hold of it up in the air, it's going to blow back in. And boy, that's a big leadoff double for Skelly.
Here's Alyssa Brown into pinch run for Skelly. Now Molly Scully comes in. So Skelly of the Molly sophomore variety, 0 for 1.
Interesting to see if they'll have Skelly give herself up here.
You know what? As much as I like the bunt, I think I'm letting her swing here with the runner at second base. Maybe you get one into a gap like her sister just did. She's hitting .577, 5 doubles, 2 triples. Inside, just missing. I like that the pitchers today are working both sides of the plate.
Yeah.
We've had games in the past, Kevin, where nobody goes inside. Both sides of the plate.
I guess they're worried about, and you mentioned earlier, if you go inside, you end up getting the middle of the plate, and you pay for it.
This looks like a pitch around to me, fellas.
It would be probably a pretty good idea, Dan.
Giving yourself the force. Yeah.
And not worrying about the damage from Molly Scully.
But if you're going to do that, I don't know why you just wouldn't walk her. But yeah, there was nothing even close. Oh, she does have a strike. Which one did he call a strike?
I missed it, Dan, to be honest with you. Again, we can't hear. We're relying on our eyes from a distance. That's probably a good move. I probably just would have put her on first. Playing with fire here. The sophomore can hit. Nobody out, runner at second.
Downside.
Called
Oh.
strike on the outside corner.
Wow.
I think you come back with that one.
I'd go a little wider.
Maybe make her chase
She's
it.
not a chase.
Same spot, right field, the wind blowing it foul, and it does go foul. Again, Kevin, you mentioned how both Skelly sisters willing to go the opposite way with them.
Yeah, and a good piece of hitting right there to just really stay alive. A lot of girls, or even you guys obviously know from baseball, a lot of times you'll see guys reach out and try and pull that the other way and just get a soft ground ball.
Yeah, if you can even hit it. It's hard enough to hit it, but man, very impressive going with the pitch. So Molly Skelly back in. Brooke ready. Steps on the rubber. Big strike out there, swing and a miss. What a pitch.
Wow.
Change up.
Up and away.
Blanchard in, she's 1 for 1 with the single. Coming in, Blanchard hitting .250 on the year. This one's into short right center field. It's down. It's going to possibly score a run. A late jump on it was Brown. She will come around and score. It's a double and an RBI for Bree Blanchard, and Sterling's on the board first.
Well, another one hitting the ball where it's pitched with Blanchard, hitting that low line drive to right field. And you can tell the center fielder didn't have a beat on that one. And Sterling gets their first run across. That's a big hit there by Blanchard.
I had some concerns for Brown there. She got a late read on that, but was able to get in. Next batter, foul down the third baseline. This is Maggie Ralston, a designated player. She's 0 for 1, hitting .250. So Blanchard on second, 1 run in here in the fourth. One strike to Ralston. Missing inside. The catcher, Malinowski, holding it there for the umpire, who says it's inside.
Boy, this is one of the better umpires we've had, ball strike with softball.
Yeah.
I know we sit along the side, but we look at some of these replays. So many times they give them way off the plate.
He's nailing it. There's no doubt as that misses away. Kevin, you feeling all right? Complimenting an umpire.
Nothing. The West Effort baseball one. I always think, when I think off the plate, that it always brings me back.
That's a highlight on our YouTube page too. If you want to search crazy ump call, the catcher was confused, the pitcher was confused. There's a half swing foul. It was a ball that was in the other batter's box, and the ump had to tell the guy, "You struck out. You struck out. You struck out." It was like 3 times.
When you usually say 3 feet off the plate, obviously you're exaggerating, but this time
it was 3 feet off the plate. Yes, it was a moment of insanity, but we'll work through it. That misses away,
and I think it was one of the, and the ump should know, where the catcher moved out late, and the ump lost perspective of where the plate was, and well, I mean, it, you wouldn't believe it until you actually see it.
Not the case today, though. An excellent job thus far at home plate. This is right field. Again, the wind is going to take this and blow this foul out of play down the right field line. You can hear the wind, again, as you're just tuning in. The wind is blowing from center field where we're standing to home plate.
Good thought by
Yeah, it's windy.
Trying to go the other way.
I got that one, Mr. Farr.
There you go. It's an oldie but a goodie.
Everyone knows it's windy. Ralston back in. Brooke is ready. The pitch. That's low. And she draws a walk. 2 runners on, 1 out. 1 run in. That'll bring the play Caitlin Ott. She's 0 for 1 with the strikeout. 2 runners on, 1 out.
This is something where you got the old run across. Sometimes with softball, you get the momentum going and you can set yourself up for a big inning here.
That's on the corner for a called strike. The other thing we talk about umpiring with softball, it's close. You have to think about it. It's Little League distance with some girls that can really bring the ball.
And have movement, too.
Yeah, it's not easy to umpire this. That's outside, 1-1.
Definitely one of those ones where it's not where it hits the glove. It's where it crosses the plate.
1-1 to Ott. Coming our way. This may go over the center fielder's head, but no, a great catch by Medlar, and everyone has to stay. There was no tag. On a normal day, that might get over Medlar's head.
Yeah, I think that's one where, especially with 2 outs, you had an opportunity, especially with the center fielder going back. I would have tried to give it a shot, maybe try to tag from second.
All right, well, she was in position at least to
Yeah.
tag, but chose not to go. So I guess better safe than sorry as Kraus comes to the plate.
Tough call, but I mean, that's just me thinking with having the second out and then giving yourself a better chance with the runner on third with 2 outs.
Now, you would hope she might throw it to second. You might get one at third and then hope for maybe a wild pitch. First and second, 2 outs, Kraus to the plate. Takes that low.
And obviously, conversely to that, if you get now low line drive, if the center fielder is coming in, their momentum's going towards it. But when they're going back, it's a little tougher. And when a team's down, you want to force them to make plays.
That's on the corner for a called strike. Kraus coming in, hitting 133. She scored 3 runs on the year. This is a little bit high. Two runners on, 2 outs, a run in. Sterling leading it 1-0. That's outside. And that's going to load the bases on a walk. Sterling going to see if they can take advantage. They have their 9th hitter up as the Audubon team will meet on the mound. Kaylee Sims to the plate, but for the 9th hitter, Dan, 526, 2 doubles, a homer, 9 runs knocked in. That's
Another
the 9th
Sims,
hitter.
huh? We got
Kaylee.
Sims all over the place in this district.
And she's got good numbers, so a good job in this batting lineup for having Mrs. Johnson have her bat 9th. She can open this game up. Bases loaded, 2 outs here in the 4th. 1 run is already in.
And I'm wondering if they didn't look at the stats and know that this isn't your normal number 9 hitter. You got to be, even with runners on base, still try and locate. And normally number 9, you're just going right at 2 outs right at her, just get her out. But here you're still, you don't want to just give her a meatball right down the middle.
As the wind really kicks up, that's on the corner for a strike. It's 1-1. To give you a difference, the 8th hitter Kraus is hitting 133. The 9th hitter Sims 526.
Assuming another one of the great-granddaughters of, that'll be great as in second, granddaughters of Arlene Sims, our former superintendent's secretary here at Sterling.
Again, we apologize at home. The wind is really kicking up here. And we have our camera person in the elevated position about 15 feet over our head. Not easy to do. Half on a change-up, foul there. So bases loaded, 2 outs. I mean, that's our crowd mic. We'll kill that for a second. It's not as...
No, it's not the crowd mic.
It's kind of just, it's there.
It's probably one of our...
Yeah, kicking through a bit. Sims trying to open this game up. That's outside. Sims trying to get it to the top of the lineup. 2 outs with the bases loaded.
The other advantage, she drives one with 2 outs. You've got the runners going on contact. They don't have to worry about holding up, if it's caught or not.
Called strike
Wow.
3. We'll give you one more look at that. That's probably our first tough pitch
Yeah.
of the game.
And a bad time for that to happen. That was
Wow.
down. That was
yeah.
down.
That's the way it goes sometimes. We'll take a quick break. We will be back with the 5th inning in a moment. As we move to the 5th inning, guys, I think the story thus far, Kevin, has been runners left on base. You've got 5 left on base for Audubon. Sterling has now left 4.
No doubt about it. And you've got to like what the pitchers have been able to do. I mean, you get into some jams, and this is where you like having, with both teams, veteran pitchers, where they bear down and they make their pitches. And, you know, you just got the strikeout right there. Might have got the benefit of the call, but there's been other pitches where they're in the outer part of the plate and they force soft ground balls where it made it easy for the fielders to make a play.
9th hitter Kylie Alkins to the plate, takes one high for a ball. She singled leading off the 3rd inning, coming in hitting .222. Two and out.
I can maybe think of maybe 2, 3 or 4 pitches that have been right down the middle. Everything's been either inside, outside. Now that's down the middle, but it's down. It's when you I don't have to tell you guys, middle and up. That's when you pay for it.
Especially in softball. Pop up, going to be taken by the pitcher. Skelly takes it for the first out. That'll bring us to the top of the lineup. Dana Medlar. Medlar has grounded out and singled. She's 1 for 2, coming in hitting .655. Now we're getting some more drizzling kicking in again. In there for a call. So it just goes back to what you're saying, Kevin, right on the edge.
And it really goes a long way. You talked about the runners on base, and we talked about all the runs they score. This is a team that's used to scoring and having big innings, and to hold them down, I think, you know, you constantly frustrate them in this game, and mentally they start to kind of question themselves a little bit.
Yeah, we mentioned it. Audubon in 8 games has scored 103 runs. That's 13 runs a game. No runs through 4 innings thus far. Oh, they call that a strike in there. Get a little help. It's a big out here. We're getting that last hitter. 1 out here for Medlar, the leadoff hitter in the lineup. 2nd in batting average on the team. Nice pitch there for a strike 3.
Outside part of the plate, tailed away. As a hitter, you're thinking that's going to get part of the plate, but just can't even reach it.
Gianna Canuso, 0 for 2, has lined out and flown out, hitting .318. 2 outs here in the 5th. Off-speed pitch low.
The white catcher's gear is still cracking me up. She looks like the one of the stormtroopers from Star Wars. I love it.
Lost her grip there, missed that one inside. You can't say you can't see the target here. Skelly ready. corner for a called strike.
I'm sure we have a pretty good seeding group too, also right now, well, as it currently sits.
You would think so, with a 6-2 overall record. Ground ball. This is Pelkak. Pelkak is tough. Makes the throw, and a 1-2-3 inning defensively for Sterling. We move the home half of the fifth. Sterling leads it 1-0. It's a battle of the top two teams in the Liberty Division. Audubon 8-0, 4-0 in the division. Sterling 6-2, 3-1 in the division. And so far, Kevin, Mallory Skelly doing the job.
And we talked about the frustration. You could just see right now, Audubon is just frustrated. The body language is just down. There's no jump to them coming out of the field. And that's what happens when you have a team that's used to scoring a lot of runs. You put them in place, and especially you take care of them when they get runners on base. And that just says a lot about what Mallory Skelly's been able to do today.
Sterling going to try and do damage here in the fifth with their top of the lineup, 1, 2, and 3, Pelkak, Kelly, and Skelly. Brandon Pelkak, the shortstop junior, 0 for 2 with 2 groundouts. Comes in hitting .552.
Has made some nice plays in the field. We saw her end the inning. And Tad, probably the biggest play. Dan, I don't know if you were here, but got a ground ball and just kept going with the momentum, stepped on third, and got a force out.
That's out of
in an
play.
inning where it looked like Audubon was threatening. That was a big out.
Talked about Pelkak. We saw her in basketball. Just a great little athlete. I had fun with her. She came in. There's 2 spots you can come into the field, to our left or to our right. She was coming into the left and just completely put on the brakes. And I said, what's going on? She goes, there's a big bug there. I am not going in that way. She walked around us and went into the fence to our right.
Well, and then her coach is the biggest scaredy cat.
Oh, yeah.
The bugs.
Two and one. So, yeah, I got a big kick out of that. She had a bucket of balls, too. She had to walk about an extra 40 feet. She said it was worth it.
Had Raina in photography class, and she has a cat that is the coolest looking domesticated cat I think I've ever seen. It's bigger than a normal sized cat, and she said it's a special breed, but it almost looks like a wild animal.
Oh, wow.
It's really, she took some really cool pictures of it.
How's the temperament? Is it?
She just like any other, she said, any other domesticated
Right,
cat, but
okay.
it just, whatever breed it was, or it is.
Just don't catch me out by myself. That's outside for a ball. As it's drizzling a bit here right now. It's been part of the problem here. As Andrew, our producer, is going to have to move things around a little bit. Jam shot over Sterling's dugout, over towards the JV game.
Looks like somebody's getting some extra bases over there, rolling to the fence. Got a triple.
And the JV game. So again, we're in the 5th inning. Nobody out, first runner on. Sterling leading at 1-0. This is Raina Pelkak. And she dances out of the way and draws a walk. Now, this is that part of the game early on. We were looking for a bunt, and we didn't get it. We'll see what they do here. With both Skelly girls up, I'd be bunting here. We'll see. Steph Kelly has struck out and grounded out. Coming in hitting .407. The third baseman, Gottschalk, is way in at third base.
Yeah, an extra run here would be huge with the way this game's going, and she's turning around the bunt.
Taking that for a called strike. Yeah, Sterling would love to see Peltcat get to second base with 2 cracks at it with the Skelly sisters. Takes that low. Catcher able to keep that in front of her. That's Malinowski. That's got to be an interesting feeling. Already you're at Little League distance, and about 3/4, back is the third baseman coming hard. Everyone's moving.
Yeah, and it's I guess it's a softball thing, but having the left fielder cover third is odd to look at.
Yeah, it is very strange. You're right.
Because if you get the runner over and the shortstop covers second, as she does right here.
Safe.
Bunt for a hit.
Wow.
So 2 runners on, nobody out. Now Mallory Skelly coming up. She's not bunting.
No.
She comes in hitting .640, 4 doubles, 2 homers, 19 runs batted, and she is 2 for 2 on the day with a single and a double and has scored a run.
Now,
Here's a chance to open it up.
Yeah, they couldn't have a better situation than this.
Here's a shot coming our way. It's deep. It's going to stay in the yard. A great play by the center fielder with no tag. What a job by Dana Medlar.
The wind held that one.
I thought I had a ball in and right
I
in my
was ready.
lap.
I was ready.
Yeah. It was definitely coming here without a wind.
Great job by our camera girl, Sheree, for getting that shot there. Well, now it's Molly Skelly's turn. I thought that for sure was coming right in our lap. Reminded me of that playoff homer she had a few years ago. Inside 1-0.
That's the old Major League line. Too high.
Yeah, it was.
Too
And
high.
it got it caught in the jet stream, and that's all she wrote. Here's some good news. Looks like some blue skies behind us here. Hopefully that's enough to scare out the drizzle we just lived through.
Blue skies, smiling at me.
I'm putting on a happy face. Ground ball, third baseman going to step on the bag, throw to first, in time for the double play. Audubon escapes it. What a great defensive play.
Well, it's been the story of both teams all day. They get in trouble and come up with a big defensive play, and boy, there's no bigger defensive play than that to get the double play and take away, which would have been a potential big inning for Sterling.
We move to the 6th. Sterling clinging to a 1-0 lead. Well, Kevin, Audubon has to feel very, very fortunate to get through that last inning.
Boy, it was, probably in that situation, that's what you want, something right to the third baseman. But you still have to make the play, and stepped on the bag, and then had a nice throw to everything was really outstanding all around between the play that the first base or the third baseman made, and then the throw over and the great stretch by the first baseman to get them out of that inning that, as you said, guys, it would have broken it open for Sterling late in the game.
With the 2 players up, you probably went up in that situation. First pitch to Lockheed. She is 0 for 2. She is grounded out twice, coming in hitting .500 on the year. 6th inning, Sterling needs 6 more outs, but they only lead it 1-0. Boy, that shot that Skelly hit. Audubon is fortunate, though. The wind is blowing in as hard as it is today. I'm very impressed. That center fielder made a great play. Medlar turned and went under control. I mean, she eyeballed us in the fence right here. She was the one I watched. And wow, that was outstanding.
And she had one, what was it, the previous inning or 2 innings back? We had that line drive that was hit high. A lot of center fielders wouldn't get either one of those balls.
Made them look easy, too. Here's one at Sterling, center fielder, and in to make the play is Caitlin Ott.
Speaking of good plays by center fielders.
So look at it again.
Good job just getting over there in a hurry.
Sheree Coffey, our camera woman, doing an outstanding job fighting the elements up in the Shark Tank today. Olivia Malinowski to play. She's flown out the right field 2 times. She takes that 2 for a strike. She comes in hitting .666, 15 RBIs, 16 runs scored, and you've kept her off the bases twice.
Some gaudy averages in these games.
Averages that I have never had in my career.
Well, like we were saying, okay, this Lindenmold game, you're going to get a lot of. That's a stat game, probably get 17 runs, but I mean, they had Township team. They scored 14 off of them.
Here's one to right center field and deep. The center fielder can't get it. One hop off the fence. Throw comes back in, and there's those gaudy stats taking effect as it's a double for Malinowski. It's her 2nd of the year.
Got a hold of that one. Again, you know, we're seeing another hitter go with the ball where it's pitched. And almost looked like it was going to get caught under that fence, but Ott gets it in there. But
She did reach under. She could have probably let it sit there, but it didn't matter.
yeah, it didn't matter.
change
Still getting
anything.
a double anyway.
Here's the pitcher, Brooke, to the plate trying to help herself. She has singled and popped out, hitting .500 on the year. So the runner at second base is Malinowski with 1 out. She's the tying run in this game. Foul down the third base side. Molly Skelly will pick it up. Again, this is the effort that Mallory Skelly had, facing a team that averages 13 points a game. So far, through 5 1/3, has them shut out. Outside.
And like we were saying, okay, you can see the Lindenmold game, 17-0. But yeah, I'm sure had Township's decent. I know Timber Creek usually has a decent team. They scored 10 off of them. Gateway, they had 17 off of them.
On the corner for a called strike.
And even getting 7 off a Heights team. I know Heights has a very good pitcher.
Yeah, Heights is a team that beat Sterling. Foul out of play right side. It's amazing how well the history of Coach Talent Johnson's teams have been in the second half of the year. I mean, you don't have to go as far back as when they won their last title 2 seasons ago. They started slow, young team, and hold on to win it. Up the middle, Skelly makes the play, going to get the out at first. Moving over to third is Malinowski.
Well, we said that's one advantage you have if you have a wide open area in the middle. You have somebody like Mallory Skelly who can field her position very well.
Well, now here's Megan Gottschalk. She's reached base in an error and grounded out. She's hitting .385 on the year.
Shame Mallory didn't pick that clean. She definitely would have had somebody at third because it was a base running mistake that they got away with.
Tying run at third, 2 outs. Big swing and a miss there for Gottschalk. 0-2.
Just really looks like they're getting fooled with her taking a little bit off some of those pitches.
And she's able to keep them down. So they're going the outside corner here. Swung strike 3. What a pitch right there from Mallory Skelly, and it ends the threat. We'll give you one more look at this here.
Well, nothing different than we've seen all day. Gets in trouble early on with the double, runner on second, and finds a way to get herself out of it and keep this game with Sterling having a 1-0 lead.
We move the bottom of the sixth. Sterling leads it 1-0. Great pitch. Well, guys, pitching is key in this game of softball. We're going to come back to that pitch again. Here, look at this play. Mallory Skelly, just an outstanding pitch. And she's been key. Look at it one more time. I mean, right, it's almost right in the glove and even further off.
And we always talk about, you know, we talked about it earlier where you want to go outside the plate, then inside the plate. But that pitch is so good that you probably can, and they have today, lived with being consistently on the outside part of the plate.
Here's Bree Blanchard. She has a good day. She has doubled and singled, coming in hitting .250.
And Tad, I think what that replay also showed was how good of late movement that pitch had.
Yeah.
And you're just looking like at hitters that just think they're going to get something right on the black, but it just moves late and they're looking really off bounds.
Sterling out there running the fourth inning. Mallory Skelly doubled. She was knocked in on the double by Bree Blanchard, who's batting right now, leading it off in the sixth. That's low. Good block by the catcher, Malinowski.
And the other thing, we're not making like 9-hole or hitters that are hitting 100 look bad. We're making girls who are outstanding hitters. I mean, we've gone over and over about their stats, and that's what happens, you know. And you always say it's not how hard you throw; it's about keeping them off bounce, and it's really been the key to this game.
Blanchard takes that one for a strike, and we've seen some nice defensive plays as well.
Yeah.
Brooke ready in the pitch. Sliced foul the opposite way off the screen that saves many a foul ball. First year they were on this field, the screen was not up, and Miss Talent Johnson said she lost more foul balls in a week than she lost in 5 years. Just missed inside. So a leadoff walk for Blanchard, who's been on base 3 times now. She's on first. Here's Maggie Ralston, who has grounded out and walked. Again, this is a situation we'll look to see. Audubon, third baseman, up a step or two in front of third is Gottschalk. It's the 6th hitter in the lineup. Pop up. Pitcher wants it. Brooks squeezes it, and there is 1 out. So 1 out as you look at it here again, and that'll bring to plate Caitlin Ott.
That's what Brooke wanted right there. Just easy out, no opportunity for the runner to advance.
Ott coming in hitting .348. She has struck out and lined out to center. Big swing there, nice pitch. You know, the Sterling bench talking it up a little bit as the wind has died down a bit. Missing away. Sterling trying to tie things up in the division. If they can get 3 more outs. Audubon came in 4-0 in the division, 8-0 overall. Sterling 6-2 and 3-1 in the division. Jam job, going to bounce in front of the pitcher, who will get the out at first. Moving up to second is Blanchard.
Both pitchers have been doing a good job fielding their position.
Here's Caroline Kraus. Kraus has grounded out and walked, coming in hitting 133. Blanchard at second, 2 outs. Off-speed pitch for a called strike. Next inning scheduled to hit for Audubon, the 7, 8, and 9 hitters. Missing away, 1-1. Be interesting to see what coach will do if you get a base hit here. Will they send the catcher Blanchard around?
Yeah,
Leading it by 1, why not?
Give it a shot with 2 outs. Absolutely.
That one misses. 2 outs.
Although you've got Sims coming up, so it's not your normal decision you'd make in this situation because of that.
Misses outside. Something I'm getting a kick out of, both you guys here, and I'm enjoying it. The shortstop is relaying signs to the outfielders to tell them what the sign is. I know you can't really see it at home, but for just us here, she's going to watch what the sign is called, and she'll relay it to the outfielders so they know where to play.
Fastball coming.
Yep. Towards inside, that is ball 4. Put runners on first and second, and here comes Sims.
Good job by Kraus laying off that pitch and getting the walk.
Kaylee Sims looking to get it going. She's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, coming in hitting .526. A hit here can give Sterling some breathing room. That's low. Runners going to third, and not a wise decision as she is a dead duck at third base. So we move to the 7th inning. Sterling needs 3 more outs. They lead it 1-0. Pat Kosnevsky, Kevin Schulz, Dan Farr, our producer Andrew Kane, replay graphics guy Sheree Coffey, and Kayvon Kashif here bringing you all the action on Sterling TV 19. Now normally after the game, if Sterling wins, we would do a post-game show, but we have to get inside and we've got to tape the spring concert live tonight. So unfortunately, we will not have the opportunity to talk to some players.
Channel 19 at all corners, covering all the bases.
It's actually, and Dan, have you ever had the opportunity in your day to do anything live from the auditorium? Have you done it before on the channel or anything?
That's a good question. I think we did a wrestling.
There's
one
out of third, yeah.
We may have done a wrestling live back in the Mike Ahern days when we had the state championships here. Because I remember having to wire the auditorium to get it back down to the TV studio so we could put it out. And if That would be the only one that I could think of that we
Well,
ever tried to do live.
I was going to say, this is my 16th year. This is the first time. Usually you want the auditorium, you want people to attend the event. Because of COVID, not everyone can.
Right.
So we will be live tonight for the first time ever in my time with the spring concert. So looking forward to tonight. If you're hanging around later today, we'll have it live on YouTube. One out here in the 7th.
Yeah, Andrew Kane just reminded me. We just did the promenades last weekend.
Oh, that's right. The second thing live. There's a base hit to right field. You're right. That
Senior
was live.
moment.
Yeah.
That was live.
Chalk
I
it up
forgot. God, that was only a week ago, and I forgot about it.
Senior moment. Happens to all of us.
So we have one out now, a runner on first. Here's the 9th hitter, Alkins, to the plate. Alkins has singled and flown out to the pitcher. So the tying run on first. Now I'm assuming we have some type of change here. It looks like 24 is the runner on. We do not have a 24 in our roster. Or actually, they're going to take a runner now.
Maybe did she maybe pinch hit and now they're re-entering somebody to run? Maybe.
Maybe. Safransky, all right, she was the designated player. We have a different run. I can't see the number at first, so I apologize for that.
Did you say Safransky?
That's what I thought it was, but it wasn't. So what is it?
Surzanin.
Surzanin, sorry.
Safransky's here at Sterling.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I have it on
I
the
thought
brain.
you said Scott Fransky.
Scott Fransky in the crew. All right, we are in the 7th inning. One out, a runner at first. This is the 9th hitter in the lineup. Top of the lineup up. She gets on. She's around the bunt and fouls it. Interesting now that they would bunt.
One out.
Yeah, and really haven't done it much today. I'm assuming she must have some pretty good speed, does Alkins.
Yeah, because you got to be bunting for a hit as much as you're bunting to move the run over.
All right,
in this
this is
situation.
actually Emily Bobo up. Bobo back to the pitcher. They
Oh.
go, oh, for a second, do they get it? They say safe. Safe at second base, and a huge mistake there.
Wow, and they all thought she was just going to go and get the out.
Yeah, Mallory didn't look like she had it in her mind, what had happened if it's back at you.
We might have had her out.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah, I thought we
You
might have had her.
gotta know. You gotta know before the pitch what you're gonna do in the situation, and there was that hesitation.
And now, Dan, there's a hitter hitting .655, 1 for 3 on the day. Takes it for a strike. That almost, I mean, if she reacted quickly, that almost could have been a double play even.
Yeah.
2 runners on, 1 out. Here's Medlar. Center fielder's had a good day today. Misses outside, 1-1. Tying run on second base with 1 out. Strike 2.
A strikeout or a pop-up would be huge right here.
The history has worked the outside corner. Let's see what they do. Here they go. Back to the pitcher.
Here we go again.
She wants to go to first and just gets the out at first base. That was not easy.
Looked like she didn't grab the ball kind of a little bit. Yeah, had to get a better grip on it, but important thing was she was ultimately able to get the out.
So 2 outs, and now it's up to Gianna Canuso, who has grounded out, flown out, and lined out.
I'm surprised with her. Well, there she goes inside. With as much as she's working the outside part of the plate, but some of these hitters are at least trying to get closer to the plate. You look at where they're standing, and you have to think that, you know, she's working the outside part of the plate. Try moving closer.
I would have thought about intentionally walking her
To get the force.
just to have forces at every bag,
Yeah.
so you don't have to make any throws.
2 runners on, 2 outs. Top of the 7th. That's in there for a called strike. Skelly trying to pick herself up here. Canuso again coming in, batting .318. Opposite field, knocked down by the second baseman. Can't make the play. 1 run scores, and we are tied at 1. Kraus did everything she could and couldn't get the play.
Yeah, and you know what, though? Her just getting to that one saved the go-ahead run from coming in. Or having an opportunity. Don't know, because I know Kelly was coming up quick, but that would be a tough play to make.
Here's Lockheed to the plate. She's hitting 500 on the year. So that's a case where that missed decision play at second base literally comes back as where it kills you as it's tied at 1. Runners at the corners, 2 outs.
Yeah, giving extra outs to good teams is not usually a good recipe for coming up with a win.
Yeah. And we said in the beginning of the game, how many times in softball do you see a play one way or another? It happens in baseball, but I don't think as much as you see in softball.
That's on the corner for a called strike. Runner steals, they let her steal. So the lead runner at third, another run at second.
Now
It's
again,
1-1.
I would think about walking her here to set up forces again. Especially now, as the count, I believe, is 3-1.
She just might be doing that.
Yeah, it looks like 3-1. You're right,
If you're
Dan.
going to do it, just put her on.
The 4th hitter is on deck.
Oh,
Already
okay.
has a double.
Okay.
That's low. The bases are now loaded. Here is Olivia Malinowski, who has flown out to right twice and doubled. Coming in, hitting .666. That double was her second of the year. She has 15 runs knocked in.
And all the outfielders just took 2 steps back.
Yeah.
Bases loaded. 2 outs, tied at 1. Skelly ready. The pitch. Low, 1-0.
And one of those girls that will hit the ball to all fields, too. And the double was the right center.
1-0 to Malinowski. Get some help there. 1-1. Bases loaded. 2 outs.
And the sun just came out. So the way this field is, the sun is a little bit in the batter's eye here.
Strike 2. Sterling in their half scheduled to have the top of the order with Pelkak leading it off. 2 strikes, 2 outs. Strike 3. So Sterling does give up a run, an unearned run, and we are tied at 1. We'll give you one more look at this strike here.
You see right here, still the hitters are off. I don't know. I think they should be a little closer to the plate.
Well,
But
we'll see what happens, Kevin, as we move to the bottom of the 7th, tied at 1.
Hey, so how do you think your junior year's gonna go? How do you think your junior year's gonna go? Joe? Joe? Joe, look out!
So after some further discussion with the scorers here, we have determined that that was an earned run, kind of a mental mistake, not a physical mistake on the play to second. It was a fielder's choice. So now it is 1-1. And it's the little things we talked about. Something as little as that is costing you, extra innings now possibly.
And with all that being said, Mal, a lesser pitcher would have gotten rattled, would have came unglued, but she got herself together, got out of it, and with the top of the order.
Well, check that. We had the out on the steal at third, so
You're
Sims
right,
is going to
okay.
lead off here. So Sims takes one for a strike. She is the 9th hitter in the lineup. She has struck out twice today, coming in hitting .526.
I meant she's like a top of the order
That's
hitter
right.
with that average.
She is.
That's what I was saying.
Sims, then Pelkak and Kelly here in the bottom of the 7th. Outside. This one shapes up to be an interesting finish either way.
With a lot on the line, too.
That's high. So Sims doing anything she can to get the leadoff run on base. The winning run in this case, obviously, you only play 7.
Audubon outfielders in a little bit, try and cut off anything in front, and they take even a few steps in on the pitch. Definitely playing 10 feet closer than the Sterling outfield.
3-1 here to Sims.
Smart with this wind at their back.
That's high, ball 4, and Sims draws a leadoff walk. Well, this screams bunt all over it as Pelkak comes to the plate. Pelkak has grounded out twice and walked, coming in hitting .552.
Runner.
And you'll get the runner at first base. We'll try and get the number 7. Number 7 is Amber Powell. She's a junior. So Powell represents the game at first base. The batter's ready, the pitcher's ready, the umpire's not ready. Sterling trying to give Audubon their first loss of the season and their first loss in the division. They're 8-0 and 4-0 in the division. So we mentioned Pelkak 0 for 2 with the walk. Third baseman coming in, Godshalk's in a couple steps to third.
First baseman also creeping in.
Not bunting, swinging up the middle.
Double play.
And there's a throw over, and it is a double play. Well, she hit it hard, but that was a batting practice double play.
Taylor made right for to the shortstop with momentum. Easy play there, steps.
Now we are staring overtime and extra innings into the face here as Kelly coming to the plate. She does have a single. She has singled, struck out, and grounded out, hitting .407. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. On the corner for a strike.
You knew it was going to be an extra inning game since you set up for the play in there. I mean, it's
Got
just
the mute. Yep, got the Carl thing coming up tonight.
call that the Channel 19 kiss of death.
Yes, it
Lives
was.
on.
Foul tip caught by the catcher.
What is the time on the concert tonight?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. You got plenty of time.
Good. We're gonna need it.
I'll tune in if the Phillies torture me like they've.
Sixers going for home court advantage throughout the playoffs.
Wow.
tonight.
Strike 3, and we are going to go extra innings. We move to the 8th inning. We are tied at 1 here from Sterling High School. Well, we have an outstanding game here. Sterling had a chance to put this one away. had a 1-0 lead in the 7th and just could not do it. So we move to the 8th inning, and scheduled for Audubon, it'll be Brooke, Gottschalk, and Fulton, the 5, 6, and 7 hitters in the 8th inning. In a big, big game for both teams. I mean, this has playoff seeding on the line, division stuff on the line. This is a big one. So here's Catherine Brooke, the pitcher. She has singled, flown out, and grounded out. First pitch misses.
So is this the 5-hitter, Mr. K?
This would be the 5-hitter, you're correct.
Okay.
And I think, if I remember correctly, I want to say it's the next inning or the 10th inning, they'll go to that rule that the MLB has now.
Oh, right.
Nice play at third. Sims from her knees, not able to get it. The ball gets away, goes out of play, and that'll move the runner up to second. So it'll be a hit and then a throwing error.
Man, that's a tough play because you dive, you don't even have a chance to get up on your feet, and you really have to make a tough throw on your knees.
That's where you really got to think about eating it there. Just minimize the damage, keep the runner at first base.
Gottschalk now has reached base in an error, grounded out, and struck out.
Now, why is this not a bunt?
I was just going to say the same thing.
Yep. Didn't even flinch up there, so.
No.
Again, you're hearing 3 baseball guys talking here. If this is baseball, this would be a bunt. That's in there for a strike. On deck is Holton, who is hitting .458 in the year and does have a single. 7 hits, actually 8 hits now in the game for Audubon. Down to third. Sims goes to first. Nice dig out at first base by Skelly. The runner moves up to third.
So that works the same way.
Yeah.
It's good base running. I didn't look to see if she froze her or not. Might not have had time.
So now the lead run at third for Alex Holton. She has flown out, singled, and lined out. As we mentioning, .458. She's bunting.
Squeeze, but up in the air.
And foul. That could have been disastrous.
Well, it's not really a squeeze, I guess. Did they do like a safety
Safety squeeze, kind of just slap it down. 1 strike to Holton. Working outside. Outside. 1 out in the inning. Dribbled foul to the right side of Blanchard. Extra innings. Runner at third, 1 out. This is into short right field. It's going to fall in for a hit. So an RBI single for Holton, and Audubon takes the lead 2-1.
Well, good job by Holton in a key part of the game, going with that pitch on the outside part of the plate, a pitch that Mallory Scully, an area of the plate where Mallory Scully has lived all day, and she just took it to right field.
So 1 run in, 1 out. It is now 2-1 Audubon. And we might have a pinch hitter here. Number 24, who's not listed, so I apologize. This is still, they must have a pinch runner here. So this is still Sarazin. And the call of the bullpen, yeah.
Yeah.
As long as it's not Hector Neris coming in.
Oh, then we're in trouble. Mr. Schulz has to take a call. Well, you got to help me out here, Farr. Runner at first. That's your courtesy runner or pinch runner, I guess, in this situation. Again, from the outfield, I can't see the number.
Yeah, I'm no use to you there. My eyes are tested at the moment.
I believe that is still. That's Holton as at first.
Maybe
so
it
she's
was a
still at
re-entry.
first. Yeah, I guess
Maybe
that's what they were
somebody
looking at
re-entered.
with the designated player that is up. So Zarin on the corner for a called strike. One out, 1 run in. We're in extra innings. There's that spot. She's been feeding it all day. Gets another one. If Sterling doesn't win this game, they got to be kicking themselves because they just about had this one in the bag. Opposite side, Scully trying. Safe is the call. So Scully not able to get it. Sterling not able to help themselves.
And one of those ones that just got away. Good hustle by the girl running down the line. And there's things where you miss on one play and then against a good team, they make you pay for it.
Umpire talking to the head coach of Audubon. Holton is on second base.
It's going to be another runner, I think, at first, and that'll be not knowing exactly the rules at the high school softball. I think this is the second time they've run for that girl.
This is Natalie Slavin, a senior that's going to come in to run. As Dan mentioned, now the clouds have just about cleared. Complete sun again.
Blue skies, smiling at
The umpire, we're just trying to figure this out, so you might as well sing here. 1 run in, 1 out, 2 runners on. Alkins has singled, flown out, and reached base on that fielder's choice we talked about. They tried it there, bunts it foul. Runners at first and second, 1 out. Wind starting to kick up again. Bunt, pitcher's going to take it, get the out. Everyone moves up, as that was interesting to say the least.
You all saw that, right?
Yeah,
Like,
a bit of a bobble.
Let's see if we can get a look at that here
Yes,
again,
yeah.
guys. Here it is. Ooh,
And
I don't
off
know,
the
can you-
base too, maybe.
that's close.
We'll take it though.
Yeah, just give me back the live action here.
we got bases juiced. Or no, second, third. I'm sorry, second, third, 2 out, right?
Second and third, 2 outs. And this is Medlar.
This is big to just keep it to a 1-run deficit here.
Yeah.
1 strike to Medlar. She has grounded out, singled, struck out, and grounded out, hitting .655. Chopper gets by the pitcher. Kraus can't make the play. They're sending a runner around. Here's the throw to the plate. No good. That run scores. Tough play there. So I have Holton scoring on that one.
2 runners scored.
2 runners come in. That makes it now 4-1.
And she didn't really let up at all, coming from second. Of course, breaking on contact.
So now that brings Canuso to the plate. She has lined out, flown out, grounded out, and singled. It's a 3-run 8th inning thus far. It's in there for a strike. So how things have turned in the last inning or so. Sterling was more or less an out or 2 away from winning it. Now they're down a handful.
That's what a good team can do. They eventually, if you give them too many opportunities, they're going to cash in sooner or later.
9 hits in the game thus far for Audubon. That's just about what Skelly does. She gives out about a hit an inning. Good Audubon team hung in there, had them shut out through 6. It's in there for a strike.
I wonder how many of these hits have been in just these last 2 innings?
Yeah.
I can tell you in a second.
Yeah, the early part of the game, there really weren't too many clean hits.
5 hits in the last 3 innings. And that is going to do it for the top of the 8th. Last chance time for Sterling. They trail it 4-1. Dude, are you kidding? Pictures. Sean, what are you doing? Go to Redmond's office. And we welcome everybody back here. In a day right now, unless Sterling can come up with some magic, they're going to be a little bit disappointed with the way this one turned out.
Yeah, had opportunities to take care of business, but like we said, good teams, if you give them too many chances, they're going to make the most of it. Audubon definitely did in that last half of the inning.
So Sterling will send to the plate the Skelly sisters, then Blanchard. They trail it by 3. Sterling has 5 hits in this game. The one run they got was a double from Mallory leading off the 4th, and then Blanchard doubled her in. So what does Sterling have in him here in the bottom of the 8th? Brooke ready, the pitch. Big swing and a miss. Again, they play her pretty much regular distance. The wind's going to help them in the outfield. 1 strike pitch. Fouled off the screen right side. 0-2 to Mallory Skelly, the senior. These two teams are going to meet again next week in Audubon.
Brooke doing a good job getting ahead of Skelly, going right at her.
Is this a make-up rained out game?
Yep, from earlier in the year when the baseball team played, the softball team did not. This is right field, down the right field line. Right fielder there and makes the catch. Good job by Connolly. There's 1 down. Nice play down the right field line. Here's Molly Skelly. She has flown out, struck out, and grounded out, coming in hitting .577. Nice off-speed pitch, strike 1.
Really did a good job with that, keeping Skelly off bounds.
One and 1.
And neither pitcher, you know, we've been talking over and over about the location, the change-ups, but neither pitcher has really been overpowering. It's pretty much just been that, the well-pitched game.
Another nice pitch. Yeah, change up there, nice. Audubon has won 5 straight games versus Sterling. Last time Sterling won was the 2016 season. Sterling's got to find a way to get by this Audubon team. Coaches are 2 very good friends of each other.
Another changeup coming. Looking at the shortstop signals.
Yeah, that's impressive. It's helpful as an outfielder to know what's going on.
For the record, Mr. Farr's not relaying them to any coaches in there or anything.
Second baseman also giving signals to the right fielder. Ooh, and that hits her. So with 1 out, Molly Scully has been hit by a pitch. Still 1 out in the inning. Sterling down 3.
Okay, still need another base runner here for it to get interesting.
I think we're going to get a runner here, yep.
We have 1 out, so.
It's Taylor Lamb, I think. It's numbered, yes. Taylor Lamb, a senior, in to run. So Lamb will run. Blanchard up's having a good day. She has singled, doubled in the lone run of the game for Sterling, and walked, coming in hitting 250. All right, 1 out, runner at first. Sterling's tying run for this game is on deck. Blanchard in, and here we go. Nice pitch, 1 strike. One out, 1 strike, runner at first. Popped up, out of play. 2 strikes. Sterling needing to get some base runners.
I know I keep saying it over and over again, but I still think we could. The hitters should get closer to the plate, and if that forces a throw inside, so be it. But
Yeah, they're going outside again, Kevin.
yeah, well, why not? If you, and you're reaching for everything.
There's a foul by Blanchard. It's almost, Dan, you get a better view here as a coach than you do down in the third or first base dugout.
This is great. This is awesome shot. Great job by our camera person, Sheree.
Also have Kayvon up there helping us out.
too.
Yep. Off-speed pitch, and she swings through it for the 2nd out of the inning. That's a nice off-speed pitch there, really caught her off guard. Well, now the last chance is Maggie Ralston. Ralston has grounded out, walked, and flown out. There's one keeping him honest, Kevin.
Yeah, I guess so. Must have heard me.
That's true. It's a good idea, though. Because, yeah, I'd be leaning.
It can't, yeah. And even if maybe even, no, I know stepping in is probably different than what you're normally used to doing, so that might throw you off, but it just standing a little bit closer.
Another one just misses. The catcher's still holding it there.
And, the coaches, to their credit, aren't seeing what we're seeing. They don't have the view that we
Yes.
have right here, so.
Yeah, it's much easier sitting here. Unless you have a player telling you about the inside or outside corner.
Yeah.
That's why I have to do a lot of communication with my catcher, especially to find out what are we getting, what aren't we getting.
Yeah. The only thing you could, obviously from the side, see is glove movement, but even that with sometimes you don't know where your catcher's setting up.
Fouled off the screen. Yeah, if the catcher slides outside,
Yeah.
it's just hard unless you caught the slide. And Dan, there's an old saying, good teams find a way to win. I think that's what you say for Audubon today.
Yeah.
They found a way.
Couple mistakes, and they jumped on it.
This could be the game over to second base, and that is the ball game, as Audubon is going to win it by a score of 4-1. And as we mentioned, guys, it's just a case of Audubon taking advantage of some mistakes and misplays of Sterling.
Did what they had to do. I mean, you could tell they were frustrated as the game moved on, but they just kept at it, kept forcing Sterling to make plays, and took advantage of a couple errors, and just like that, they had a 3-run inning.
As the plane will fly away in the distance. Again, we want to thank both coaches for hooking us up with the stats and the information. That is going to do it for us here today. I want to thank our producer and director, Andrew Kane, Sheree Coffey, Kayvon Kashif, for doing the pictures for Danny Farr and Kevin Schultz. I'm Tad Kosneski. We will talk to you next time here on Sterling TV 19.